Spill art, my friends. Today I'm going to try a new technique that catches my attention, and it's that spill art. And for this, I chose coffee as a medium. Coffee is one of my favorite drinks, and besides, smells delicious. I decided to do this because apart from realistic art, I also love abstract art. Actually, I do abstracts, and I always try to imitate organic, natural forms and spontaneous textures found in nature. So what better than to start spilling coffee without measuring or anything? At the moment, I am collecting some of the excess coffee, but I plan to reuse it because I want to give this bottle more shape. I'm already liking the shape it's taking. I squeeze out the excess in the areas where I think it needs it and sprinkle a little here, a little there. Let's see. I think that's fine for now. In the meantime, I'm going to pick up the mess here a bit. I don't want the paper to suffer too much from behind either. To make this spill art, I used traditional long coffee, and I decided to make 2 more cups of coffee, one a little light and also a good concentrated espresso. But the truth is that I started painting, and even the most concentrated espresso was very weak, so I decided to go ahead with acrylics immediately. And for this I used these goldens. And here I already have a result much closer to what I expected. I'm going to be honest, I am too used to use oils, and that is why I'm very careful, because although these are acrylics, the idea is to use a technique similar to watercolor. I believe it goes more in line with this coffee stain. That is why the choice of these fluid acrylics. So I very cautiously began to trace the colors, as I always start with the darkest areas. I always do a little test before, and then I go with a little more security. I don't intend to do anything perfect. Rather, I'll spot it, a little spontaneous. This is a study, an experiment, and the truth is that it's been very satisfying. I chose to start with the hair because it is less demanding than painting the face. Once I get a little more confidence, I'll start with some areas of the face, starting with the darkest ones, such as the eyebrows, nose, and some shadows that remain under the face. Also, when I'm going to start with the face, I do it in a cautious way. I am not going to put the dark color immediately, but I start to shade slightly and then add more paint where I think it's darker. I don't usually do it like this when I paint with oils. I go straight to the darkest shade with a little more confidence, but in this case, as I don't have much practice with this type of watery technique, I am not going to risk it. So I'll go a little slower. With the fact of having this background that already has its natural beauty, it makes things a lot easier. And the truth is that lately I've been trying to work, especially with my portraits, and not trying to pursue accuracy so much. I am not interested, I don't like that anymore. Although I try to do that in all my portraits, I'm always fighting against perfectionism. I always want to do things automatically as I see them, but I want one more relaxed work, and I think this technique is excellent for that. Because the truth is that starting with this background relaxes my mind and I can work lightly. I have to keep reminding myself that this is a study. It's not a commissioned art, no one is expecting anything, so I'm just going to do it like this. Right now, I am looking for some little details to put more emphasis on the shapes and the shadows. But as I just say, no, I am not looking for perfection. The moment I find it pleasing to the eye, I'm going to leave it. Definitely, this is not going to be the last study that I do using this technique, because it has helped me a lot in my purpose of working with more ease without seeking any perfection. I think I'm going to do more experiments, including more colors, perhaps another type of drink, another pigment, or start with the acrylics from the beginning. Maybe use wine or tea, something else natural. I love the result and I like it a lot. It has been very liberating experience. I hope you enjoyed this video a lot, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe and activate the bell so that you are aware of my future videos. Thank you so much for having reached this point. I send you a big hug, and until next time.